What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz. It's a Friday. Football Friday is back. Well, almost. Mediocre football coming up this weekend. Not real great football, not Buckeye football. So this is what we got. Hey, how you guys been? We haven't talked. We haven't talked in a long time. You know, today's a Friday, so it is a rush hour Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We're starting to go a little longer with these, so you might want to get used to that. Also, Sunday night on our YouTube Live, 8 p.m. Eastern, me, Jeff, and Sean, we're going to break out our maiden voyage of the call-in show. I'll post the phone number in the chat. You guys call in, get in line, and I'll let you in one at a time, and we'll go from there. Bang, bang, bang. You guys can bang, bang, bang. You can put in your comments or questions, and or just we'll use your questions or comments as kind of like a jumping off point on how to steer the show. So you guys have all the input, you have all the control. You make the show. It's yours. So keep that in mind. Today, we are talking Sonny Styles. Yes, you may have heard of him. Sophomore safety from the Columbus area, Pick Central. So his position seems to be pretty clear right now. Jim Knowles has really cleared it up since the spring. We were kind of in a what he was calling a streamlined position. I don't know what the hell that meant, but apparently things are streamlined, and Sonny's role, he's a starter, that's key, but we're getting a clearer picture of what's going on here with Sonny Styles. Because look, I've said it just as much as you guys have said it. Sonny has to start, right? I mean, we've said the same thing about CJ Hicks maybe, but Sonny will start, and let's talk about what his role will be here as we understand it right now. Quick drink of water. I think my wife poured vodka in there. All right. Anyway, let's go. So Knowles was asked after the first practice of fall camp if sophomore safety Sonny Styles can play the nickel position in their base defense. All right. So in the 4-2-5. He doesn't really have the body type of players who play in that nickel position. So that's why the questions are being asked, right? But Knowles said yes, emphatically. So clearing up the picture at safety, that is huge. We know Lathan Ransom is going to be a starter at safety this year. Then Styles and Syracuse transfer Jihad Carter worked in alongside Ransom in fall camp this fall. So the names aren't that surprising. Where they lined up is the key here. So Ransom was lining up at the Bandit, the strong safety, which he played last year. He took over for Proctor in that Notre Dame game and didn't let go control of that position. Then Carter lined up at adjuster, the free safety, the deepest safety, and Sonny Styles at the nickel. So that's different from what we saw in spring with Carter playing the nickel, up close to the line of scrimmage. Sonny playing backed up Ransom at Bandit. Sonny wasn't even starting back in spring. So the change in the lineup really is because Sonny is showing he can play at a high level consistently. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing that word consistently, and I get tired of saying it too, but it's really one of those go-to things that the position coaches carry. It doesn't matter what position. Consistency is key. You can play high at a high level, but you got to play at that high level consistently. You can't just do it for a couple reps in practice. That's it. You got to be consistent. So Jim Knowles said, quote, he's a guy we are continually finding ways to get on the field to let him be a factor in the games. we plan on him being out there a lot. Carter, who played all three safety positions at Syracuse in a similar defense to the Jim Knowles system. So he's shown Jim Knowles that he has the ability to thrive in the middle of the defense at any one of those roles. So Jim Knowles said, quote, "We experimented with Jihad a lot in the slot, and that's part of learning the defense. It's good for safeties to play different positions early, but he's more of a high safety. He processes and he understands the game. He sees the whole field." Okay. Josh Proctor and Cam Martinez ran with the first team back in spring. You might remember that. So what can he be an every down safety at 6'4", 220? You know, this guy, 225 maybe, I'm not sure. Jim Knowles said that don't assume anything with Sonny. He's extremely talented and he can do it all. Those are key words right there. So prior to coming to Columbus, Jim Knowles labeled his safety positions as rover, bandit, and strike. Rover was the free, which he now calls the adjuster. Bandit is the strong or the boundary, you can call it. And then the strike was a nickel. So he changed the names to adjuster, bandit, and nickel last year. The nickel label makes you think of a smaller defensive back, more equipped to cover a slot receiver, but that's not necessarily all of the responsibilities for a nickel. So in essence, the adjuster hangs over the top of the defense. He's the deepest guy. The bandit plays short side boundary. Nickel plays to the wide side, the field side. So, if you're out over on the right hash, the nickel's going to be over on the left side of the field. And those positions don't move much, but the nickel doesn't follow the slot receiver on every play. So that's kind of where we get confused sometimes, where we think we see a slot receiver and we think automatically, the nickel is going to be on him. No, it's not the case. The nickel usually covers receivers, but in other ways, the nickel and bandit are mirror positions. Their roles change depending on how the offense lines up. So Styles starting at nickel is not the same as a slot corner. The staff is confident in his abilities if he does have to cover a receiver. So if the staff has seen him do it, you gotta point the finger. You know where to point the finger if he doesn't do it right. Jim Knowles said Sonny is out there because that's where we want him. Okay, that's a lot of detail there. Last year's defense at Ohio State, Jim Knowles 4 years at Oklahoma State and 2 years at Duke. The average height and weight of the players who played the nickel was 5'11", 193. What did we just say Sonny was? Like 6'4", 210, 215, 220? Yeah, maybe 225. So most of those former players that he used in that spot were either converted corners who turned into safeties or safeties who became corners. Now, here's the thing. Jim Knowles has never had a player like Sonny Styles at those other places. So what happens when the Buckeyes face a difficult matchup in the slot? Like coming up on the schedule this year, early on, you got Western Kentucky, Malachi Corley. Against Notre Dame, you got the speedy running back who converted to receiver, Chris Tyree. You got at Penn State, Keandre Lambert-Smith. Michigan, you got Roman Wilson. Okay, these guys are speedy slot receivers, right? So can Sonny be trusted to cover all these guys? Or is that where you bring in Cam Martinez, Jair Brown, Ryan Turner, something like that? Brown and Turner are corners who have been cross-training at the nickel specifically. So can Styles stay on the field and play down in the box still? Or do you have to bring in those other guys? Last year in 2022, we had Tanner McAllister playing the nickel. He only came off the field when Knowles wanted a bigger body against the run. Like they brought in a third linebacker, right? But in the Peach Bowl, they did use Sonny to follow around Darnell Washington, the monster tight end. But Jim Knowles said that Sonny has a combination of a nickel safety and Sam linebacker as he plays on the field. So he's kind of one of these versatile hybrid types that we talk about a lot. Jim Knowles said his versatility to play man, zone, or blitz adds a completely new dimension to the defense. And that's what you want, right? You want a guy that the offense has no idea what the hell he's going to do. So if Sonny can hold up well enough in coverage against receivers, we already know he can play against bigger personnel packages down closer to the line of scrimmage. So if everything clicks, he's the most versatile player on the defense, obviously. Jim Knowles said he's earned the right to step up, play, and be a part of the ones. So at adjuster, Knowles wants to solidify the starter in an ongoing competition, but that's got to be buttoned up here by this weekend. So at the adjuster, the deep safety, he wants to figure out if it's Proctor, Malik Hartford, the true freshman, or Jihad Carter. So that's what we're looking for. That's a good breakdown of the safety talk, what we're looking at. So you got your starter, Ransom, at the bandit. You got a competition for the deep safety, and Sonny is down in the nickel slot, whatever you want to call it, safety near the line of scrimmage. So I think he belongs down there, and that makes a lot of sense. So they're not asking him to cover tight ends, but they could. He's done it, obviously. So that's all I got for you today. Don't forget, hit the BuckeyeCast.com. We still have our 25% off sale going on through fall camp. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Appreciate you. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.